Hi there, guys. I want to take you through what we've been developing over the last few months with regards to iGame. I've been working on a new website with a new integration based around tabletop roleplay for all of our communities that we're giving assistance to, and we're going to make full use of. So I thought a lot of people have been asking about what we've been developing, how is it going to work. There's some screenshots thrown around, but I thought, hey, why not? I'll just everybody's in lockdown at the moment. There's a good opportunity for me to just bring you up to speed. Hopefully we'll have this thing up and running for you very soon later in the year. So let me know if anybody can hear me okay. Let's see here. Let's check that the messages are going out to everybody. There we go. Let me know if you can see the stream okay as well. I'm coming through loud enough for everybody. I should be. We've totally pretty much redeveloped the whole of the website. I wanted to go through a few of the actual functionalities of it. Just make sure they can see up here. I've got my webcam here, or the camera covering up the top corner here, because I don't want you guys to find the address. For anything that you can get into, anything that might give you some kind of indication as to what might be coming or what's still under development. And the iGame logo in the bottom corner, just down there, because I don't want notifications distracting you and the like. So for the rest of it, you can see. The rest of it's not a problem. So let's take a quick little gander around, shall we? As people keep on coming in. Let me know if the music's a bit too loud for you guys. I can tone it down. Let's turn it down just a touch. Oh. Let's see if I can. It's pretty quiet. There we go. That should be a little bit easier for you guys to listen to. There we go. So, to kick it off. The home page, pretty much, gives an outline of what we're going to be catering towards. You can see down the left-hand side here, we've got central. It's a 3-column website. We've gone through a 3-column display in a blue, white, and silver kind of effect. Actually, I'm going to just adjust my hat a little bit. There we go. Is that better for everybody? There we go. That seems to be a bit better. Let's just check the streamers. See if there's everything okay. Let's have a look. Seems to be going out all right. So welcome to the new website. We're going to go over it. It's not live yet. This is just a behind-the-scenes sneaky peek kind of thing. You can see the date in the top corner is the 3rd of April 2020 for those of you who want some kind of point of reference as to how far this has come along. First of all, we've got to cater towards a number of role-playing platforms. Rather than just gear it towards one particular type, we're going to try and cater a little bit more so towards everybody else. Down the left-hand side, we've got the 3-column display, by the way. News articles, that announcements that we'll publish, we'll put in the center column. As you can see there, website. Work started on this on the 12th of August 2019. So we've been working on this for nearly 8 months now. 8 months we've been putting this thing together and building it, and I thought it's about time now we give you some kind of insight into what this can do and how it might be able to help you in your tabletop roleplay communities. Top left, we got no birthday announcements because there's nobody actually on the site yet apart from myself and a couple of test users. Categories allows you to filter the news articles according to a particular category, and those categories are going to be website related information, tabletop related information, fantasy roleplay, fantasy books, cosplay, that kind of thing. And that's going to get populated by our edited team in the near future with more content, models, games, that kind of stuff. And likewise, you can see it. It's tested at the moment with just one news article. Those news articles will appear to show just a week's review, week's shortlistings of quick sourcing articles. Although they'll all be available here. As you can see, the page scrolls quite nicely. Down the left hand side, we've got MMO video game news. A lot of people who do tabletop role playing also like to play a good variety of video game RPG MMOs. So we've added some quick link launch articles there on the side, and some tabletop news as well from the world of tabletop. Some TSR stuff, details and things like that are also available on the side there, and you can quickly get to those. You can see my mouse pointer just hovering over these articles here. The right hand side column of the main body has your login registration, and if you don't have a login registration, there's a registration form for you to be able to get into here. If you forget your password, buttons and things like that. Notifications is anything that you need to be notified about. If somebody sends you a message, a friend request, or asks you to join a group, or if somebody's updated some kind of information, details and files, uploaded any images, videos, galleries and things like that, then you'll be notified of them. Again, shortlistings here. Users are users online, so you can see who's actually active and who's available for chatting with and talking to and sending messages to and files and things like that. Your friends listing, you can build a huge massive list of friends and you'll get notifications from all your friends, as we'll go into. Bookmarks, if you want to bookmark any specific pages to the tabletop games that you play, and then you have a My Points section where you'll be awarded points for activity and taking part in development of the website, posting articles, replying to articles, uploading images, making friends, creating groups, managing groups, and so on and so forth. And My Items is what you'll be able to spend your points on, kitting out your website profile character sheet. Again, we'll go into that kind of thing in the future. So across the top, we have the memberships areas, and under that we have the resources for those tabletop sections with some social media links there for you to be able to get a little bit more involved in iGame Online, and take a look at other things that we might have going as well. On the right, on the left-hand side, we have a music player created by one of our music composers, Isaiah Saw. So you heard his music in our podcasts in Middle-earth Book 2 and in Space Master. If you listen to those podcasts, then you'll be familiar with his music. And we have a nice little music player on the side there, which he is composing and putting together with. You might want to listen to a bit of music while you're going through the resources for your tabletop games. Home button takes you straight to the home page. Activity, once we click on it, brings up a social media activity page, an activity wall, very much in the same fashion as Facebook. You can enter activity information, your social status, that kind of stuff. You can decide where you want to post it. You can post it in your profile or post it into a particular group if you belong to a group. We'll get onto groups in a second. You can upload an image. There we go, see. You can upload a piece of music or a sound file. You can upload a short video, or you can upload some documents. And those file formats are representative of those particular types of media. So in the instance of images, it would be JPEGs, PNGs, GIFs, that kind of thing, or GIFs. With music, it would be MP3, WAV, MIDI, those kind of file formats and the likes of. Once you've uploaded them, press post and they'll appear in the activity wall alongside everybody else's activity feed. This activity feed is designed to show everybody's activity feed, but it auto filters according to if you're a member of that group or if you're owner of that group, and also if you are a friend with that association. Everything else it'll disregard. It'll associate that you're not interested in that kind of stuff, or you don't need to know that information, so it'll auto filter it out and only show the information that's relevant to you. Once you've posted your article, you can respond, of course. You can leave a comment, you can favorite it, You can delete it, of course, if you created it. You can leave some little emojis as well, and it'll give you the emoji explanation and also the number of people that have replied with that kind of emoji. You can go back and edit it if you've created it, or you can punch it out to Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Reddit, email it to a friend, or you can LinkedIn as well. So those are your social media kind of connections to it, and I'll show you some examples of so if I do this is a image example, and I'm going to post this just in the profile, so it'll go on everybody's activity wall if they're a friend of mine. And I'm going to drop in some images here, and I don't need to click on each file in turn. I can simply just grab several here. I'm going to grab these 4 and drop them in. There we go, and it'll auto upload them for you all in one go. And the software's been designed so it will take these images, instead of just making them like one under the other all the time, it will collate them together to make a like a gallery photo book style, and you get to see an example of that. If I want to add a link as well, I can add a link in. I can go ahead and do that, and then once I'm happy with that, I can click post update and it'll automatically go into the image. So there we go. So there's 4 images there. If I want to click on I can click on and expand them as such. There we go. I can flick through them. They're very small images. The only icons I've used is this example, but you can use full screen images if you want to use full screen images. I can leave a comment on them. I can like them, and these ones I'm going to put a little love heart on there. So there, love, one person left a love heart. I can share it out to Instagram or Pinterest or to Twitter or Facebook, however I wish. Or I can go ahead and delete it. If I want to be able to see activity from all members, there's various tabs to be able to control that. I've got all members, I've got my groups. So anything that's been posted in my groups, whether I run a group or if I'm a member of a group or an officer or a moderator of a group, I can filter according to my groups. Anything that I favorited, so if I filled in the little star here, there we go, and I can mark as a favorite, I can just show up my favorites and it'll filter according to just my favorites and only show those. Or anywhere where I have been mentioned with the hashtag, hashtag Whisper, or at Whisper, I can filter and just get those particular messages because they're more or less directed to me. So that's the activity. Activity, quite fun, and that works pretty well. Some people have asked how do I post a video, so I'm going to put a little video in here, and I can drag and drop a video in, or I can add a video directly from YouTube. So if I add, let's see, what can I add? See if I can add. What can I add today? I'm going to add a bit of crit roll maybe. So let me just copy that address, and if I link that directly into there and add it, it will automatically go to YouTube and get that video and put it straight up in there, and I can use that as an actual link as well. So if I want to be able to say, hey guys, this is a real good behind the scenes tabletop show, or this is a really good podcast or something like that, I can go and actually share that on the activity stream. Let's take that out. Let's see, it's been deleted, and that's fine. If I want to post something in my group, so there's one to be shared with my group members, or I want to share it with my group people, I can simply just change it to group and then start typing the name of the group. Now I've created one in here already called the test group, and you can see there as soon as I start typing the word test, it brings up all the groups who are associated with the word test. You can call your groups anything you want, and then I can click that one, and if I want to, I can add it to more than one group at the same time, or if I want to be able to send it out to more than one person, I can send it out to more than one person at the same time. I don't have to keep repeating myself, so I can do that. Let's jump into groups because we've been talking a bit about that. Let's load in the groups. There we go. So groups is an area by which you can actually create a community. You can create as many communities as you want. You can join as many communities as you want, or you can run as many, or help to run as many as you want to. I can show my groups. I can go through the step-by-step process of creating a group, and it'll take you through a step-by-step process: details, settings, photo, cover image, send out invitations, and set up rooms. And it's basically just follow the instructions. Give it a group name, give it a group description. We'll go through the settings, the pro photo, the cover, the invites, and the rooms as we go through groups. So if we go back to groups, I can show you an example of one. So if I go into the test group here, and this is a group within the iGame website, and there can be hundreds of groups. You can create as many as you need. So if you've got one for Rolemaster, you got one for Middle-earth Roleplayer, if you've got one for D&D or Pathfinder or other types of tabletop role-playing games, you can create a community for those people. You can invite people to join that particular group, and then you can put your activities in there, your files, your videos, your maps and charts and character sheets and things like that into that group through the galleries here. And you can share them with just those group individuals, but you don't have to be. It's not controlled by just being in one group. You can be in many groups. So at the moment, I've got a home page here, and the home page can be customized by you guys. The photo itself can be changed. The banner can be changed. You can change this layout here by updating widgets, and you can add text and add video and add. I've got members turned on here. Put activity and other comments and things like that, and you can customize the actual home page, which is pretty cool. Let's go back to home. You can move those widgets around as well just by dragging them up and down the screen. I've got here members here, I've got a test user, and I've got myself. Activity will show the group activity, which is independent of the profile activity, which is what goes on the activity page. So this is activity that's centered just around our particular group. You can see there's nothing really being put in here, but it's used exactly the same way. You can put in some activity if you wish and share them with those groups. Rooms is a new kind of feature. It allows us to create game rooms as such. You can select a room if you create a room, or you can create a room and you can send out invites. Or you can just meet everybody in general. If you do create a room, it'll appear in the drop-down list, and that's within your group. So if you're in a Middle-earth roleplay group, and you have a Wednesday session and you have a Monday session or something like that, you can create independent rooms for those particular sessions, and you can use it to video conference with people who are, if I click the meet the group, you'll get the idea. You can video conference with those particular individuals. There we go. My camera failed to load because I'm using it at the moment, but not. It will come up with, you can see there, as I'm talking, it's pulsating. It's picking up my voice. Your people appear down the right hand side, and you're able to let's see if I, yeah, it's off. I thought it was. You're able to video conference with people inside your group, but inside a particular room as well. And you can have multiple rooms. That's all set up and built for you guys. If you want to go full screen, you can go full screen, of course. I'll show you full screen options. If you want if I get rid of those, yep, okay, and get rid of that one, little notifications. If you want to use text, then you can go ahead and say, you can use the text options as well. You can see it just behind here, just over here in the corner, behind the camera there. You can see that I use text options as well. So we can use full screen. If we wish to use full screen, let's go back to the normal screen again. There's some helpful little indicators on here. It tells you up here their bandwidth, to say that they've got good connection. If they're actually trying to talk, you'll see some pulsating buttons that show the frequency at which they're talking at. If you want them to put a hand up or raise a hand, you can look down the side, and little icons can be added as and how. Let's click back on. There we go. So if I put a hand up there, it puts a little hand up in my. And you can change the layout. You can have it full screen, but it's all built inside your actual group as well. So you got video conference and rooms that can be created and built inside your group. This is all done inside your group. You can bring up your members. See if we want a members listing. And you can see here on test user, I've sent out a friend request, so that would appear in their notifications. And then next time I'd log in, I'd say so and so sent you, test user sent you a friend request. I can click on it and I can accept them as a friend. It would appear under the my friends column here as a little the little icon. And then if I want to be able to read news from them or get information from them or share files with them or open a video call with them or something like that, or see what other groups they belong to, I can simply just click on their little icon and bring up their profile. So if I click on test user, I should be able to bring up their profile. There we go. And I can see that this person hasn't done any activity. I can view their galleries. I can see what other groups they belong to. I can see what friends they have, and various other things like that. Let's go back into groups again. Groups homepage. There we go. Let's go back into our test group. I can send out invites to people to join the group, join the community, or I can open up a gallery as well. I can open up a gallery, which will allow me to create, if I want to create a gallery, and I might want to create a gallery for photos, for video, for audio, and for documentation. I can specify whether it's a public gallery, so everybody can visit it and access it, logged in users only, or just to this particular group. And I can specify those kind of things. And you can do that with pretty much all the security across the website. Not just in activity in groups, but in that kind of stuff. So I can manage the entire group as well. I can change the name of the group. I can give a description. I can also tick a box to notify all members of the group that these changes have taken place, and the system will do that automatically for you. I can change the settings. So if I want to add additional levels of privacy into the group, I can do that. I can enable or disable the gallery. I might not want people uploading images to my group. I can turn that on and off. It's a feature that can be enabled or disabled. I can say this is a public group, so in which case it will show up in all searches. This is a private group, in which case only people who request membership. You have to apply for membership to be able to join the group. It's not a public group. You can't just go, I want to join, I can join, click the join button and you get in straight away. This one can be a private group. It'll still show up in searches, but to be able to join that group, you have to be able to submit a request to join that group, and then an administrator would have to OK that, and then you'll be able to join the group. Or this is a hidden group, so administrators, site developers, producers, and code writers might be members of a hidden group. It's a work area for them to be able to share documents, videos, files, and things like that. Have video conferencing for that kind of stuff. Under that, you can actually specify which members of your group are allowed to invite. And you can say all group members of the existing group can send out invites, just the group admins or the admins and the moderators. I can change the photo. Like I said, the little photo here, I've got a little kitten here. In this image, and if I wanted to, I can drag and drop a new one in if I wanted to. The cover photo is the banner across the top, and don't worry about it being circle or being the right shape or anything like that, because the software will automatically apply those filters for you and size it accordingly. So I won't worry about that kind of stuff. It's all taken care of. I can simply drag and drop a new cover banner here, and it'll automatically resize it and shape it for me. I want to manage my members. One of those things administrators of game groups or tabletop groups like to be able to do is manage their members. And you can see down here I've got myself as the administrator, and I've got a test user member here, and if I wanted to, I could edit, ban or remove this test user. Now remove will remove them from the group, but they could reapply if they wish to join again. Or they could sign up and join the group again. So I can simply remove them and they can just rejoin the group again. I could ban them, which means that I can kick them from the group, and then any requests would be automatically blocked. So anybody doing bad behavior can be got rid of straight away. I can edit their profile in the group, or edit their status in the group, and I can change their role from being a member to a moderator to an administrator. And an administrator has full control over everything within the group. Things like that. But you might want to allow your moderators to be able to change the banner and the photo and things like that. So they have a little less control than the administrator, and members literally just have to be able to upload and post their own stuff. Rooms, I can basically activate or deactivate rooms. The rest of the code's already put into there, but usually we're going to try and filter that so it doesn't show so much of the code. It's basically just have a room or not have rooms. Same with the galleries, you can enable it or disable it depending on your group setup. And of course you can go ahead and you can delete the group if you wish to delete the group also. Members brings up a members list. That's basically a members archive, in which case you can search for members. You can search for the last ones that were active, newly registered, or list them alphabetically. Gallery allows you to get quick access to your galleries. You can see here I've got several galleries here. I've got a video one, a photos one, a documents one, and another photos one. And I can go in and I can view these galleries. I'm just clicking on the view button, or I can apply directly to them. And you can see there I've had these 3 here, and because I've added these ones as well through the activity, it automatically puts them into my gallery. But I can go ahead and delete those if I want to. So if I delete that one, there it goes. And I delete that one, there it goes. And delete that one, and I delete that one again from my gallery. It gives me a bit of management there. If I want to be able to browse them, of course, I can click them, and I can simply just click through. You can leave comments to galleries as well. Go ahead and do that. That's perfectly fine. Bookmarks is a place for you to be able to get into and manage your bookmarks through the bookmark management system, which is this here. I don't have any bookmarks, but we'll go through the bookmarking process and you'll be able to see exactly what you can do when it comes to bookmarking. Shop, we have a small shop on there which is going to have some new items coming very, very soon. There's a few bits and pieces there. We're going to have some new articles going in there. Podcasting, we've got our podcasts up there, of course. Our Middle-earth Book 1, Middle-earth Book 2, Space Masters and Guardians of Middle-earth are in the podcasts area at the moment. And the spending points total. And this is the interesting bit. When I told you that you'd be getting points here, I've got 91 points. I can spend those 91 points on various things. I've already spent 100 points on being able to become a ranger, so my profile on the website is I'm playing as a ranger, and I'll show you how to get to that. If I click on my profile there, it says there just underneath my social buttons there, class ranger. So I've already bought the ranger class. And I got 91 points. I might want to buy some ranger items, some fighter items, some mage items, healer items, thief items, equipment or transport. And I can purchase new pieces of equipment. And they will go down into my items folder. Now the idea is we'll be able to actually kit out these virtual profiles on the website. And then later on via the homepage, if I go back to the homepage, you'll be able to run them on digital quests. In which case you will be able to get rewards back. In the form of treasure, either chests, gems, or in coins, and also special items as well, which will help you rank up your web status, your virtual status on the website as well. So you go on little digital mini adventures. And the idea is I've got to try and get to the forest leader, which is the next rank after a normal ranger, and then after that I become a high leader, and eventually you will make your way through the ranking systems. The more experience you spend on the website and the more that you put into it and the more the items you get, the more you survive the digital adventures, the more rewards you get and the more you will actually succeed in the in your succession. So those that do a lot for the website, do a lot for the communities, run groups and things like that, they will benefit greatly from it. It's not something that everybody wants to be able to take part in, and we've left that completely open to them. But it's a little bit of fun to be a little bit more engaging. Publications we've reserved for digital content that you might find is interesting. We've included in that all the issues of other Minds magazines. So if you're into Middle-earth and into Tolkien and things like that, then you might want to check out the Middle-earth magazines, and you can click and get a copy of the PDF from their archive directly. There we go, see? We've included The Secrets of Middle-earth, which is a podcast show. You can see, you can listen to it straight away by Father Roderick, who does a lot of Lord of the Rings online, and you can get to those shows. The Dragonlance comics as well, we've included those for you to be able to download and read and enjoy. Just by clicking on the images, you can get access to those. The Pathfinder comics, of course, as well. I want you to be able to enjoy and get used to reading those kind of things if you're the Pathfinder. We've got some Discord themes as well for you to download if you run a Discord server and you want to be able to customize it. There's a great numerous ones of Discord there for you to be able to play and install. And some desktop wallpapers as well you can download and use as your backdrops and things like that. And that is going to grow, obviously, in the next few months. There's going to be a lot more digital content, stories, fan fiction, things like that. Short videos and animations and all those kind of things are going to be included into publications for people to be able to submit and have added. So that's going to be quite interesting. But the priority of all this is being able to actually be more engaging. So you can come to the website, you can create a group or 3 or 4 groups, set up your communities, invite your members and keep them all notified, and set up events, video conference and chat and all that kind of stuff. Let's go into your profile settings, because that's probably one area that many people are interested in. The profile you can actually set up, you can customize entirely. Again, similar to the groups one, you can put in a small little enter your bio. You can add widgets as well to the page, so you can add video players, activity posts, mentions, text widgets, and these are all fully visual or HTML, whichever you're preferred to. And you can drag and drop and move these around. So if I grab hold of this one here, I can drag it and move it up to that position there, and that's how it will present on your home page. If I go back to the activity, it will show up my activity, so activity that's on my wall or my profile. And you can see there I've put that one in there. I can view my profile, and in my profile you can see I've got various details like links to my social media, which I can edit and add extra ones to. And when I do add them, they appear as small little icons underneath on my profile page. So I can add, let's have a look, see if I can add my social links. So if I want to add Facebook, Twitter, Google, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Tumblr, Instagram, Flickr, YouTube, MySpace, whatever you wish, a little icon will appear underneath. Any notifications will appear in the notifications bar, also notifications here. If I'm feeling generous, I can send a gift to a fellow member of the group, and these are like little stickers that you can send to somebody. So if I click a Marty McFly sticker and I say, oh, as the cat stands on my keyboard, oh, you know, cat, there we go, I'll send a black canary saying hey, and I want to send this to test user. So I just type the test user, it'll auto find him, say test user, and I can send that. And then next time test user logs in, I'll say Whisper sent you a gift sticker. And you can collect those kind of things if you wish to. You can see which ones I've received, and if there's any that I've received, will be displayed there in a huge page. Hello, pussycat. There's a huge page for people to view and admire and share. You can see what friends I have, what groups I may belong to. If I got any friend requests, obviously they'll show up in there as well. View my galleries. I can alter my settings as well, so if I want to make something private, I can do that. So if I want to change my password, or if I want to change my email address, I can change my email address. I can decide what I want to make visible to people or not. Again, here's a big list here, so any social links that I don't want people to see, I can turn on and off. I can change to just only me, to members, to my friends, or to everybody. My date of birth, I can say just to my friends if need be. Group invites. If I've been invited to join a group, they'll appear there as well. And if I wanted to, I can export all the website data that's centered around me. I can put an export data request in, and then the system will automatically send me a zip file, which will basically have all the information that has been stored by the website. When I logged in, what comments I made, what articles I added, any links I might have added, any files I might have uploaded or downloaded or edited. All that information, that chronological information, can be requested and it can be sent to you by a zip. Items finally allows me to see on my profile and on other people's profiles what items my virtual profile has gathered. Because I picked a ranger, I'm going for ranger items, so I can see I've got my arrows and my tent there. I've also got a few other things as well, but I've got my arrows and my tent. And then with the things that are going to count towards winning those online games. But the biggest part of the website has obviously been the resources that we want to be able to give people. So the whole social media side of it is pretty much what you'd expect. But we wanted to be able to give people the resources, but not only give people the resources, but give people the ability to understand and follow the resources and make it simple and standard across everything. So what we've done is we've taken the bulk of those systems, not the tables and not the charts and not the actual mechanics, but we've taken the background details of those systems and we've brought them together under one standardization. So if we're going to go for Middle-earth Roleplay, for example, I'll drop into the Middle-earth Roleplay and you can see here, this effectively is the Middle-earth Roleplay resources. You can see here I've got the information for the dwarves on this page here, and for the Umli on this page here, for the elf races. And again, I can click through these: the Noldor, the Sindar, the Sylvan, and of course the half-elf. And all the information is relevant to everybody here: the hobbits, the men races, the Gondorians. So when they start playing, they have these resources to hand within the website, but also within their communities as well. Professions: so the mage, the animist, the ranger, the bard, and it tells you what benefits they get, what strengths and weaknesses they have, and what happens when they level up and what their primary stat is and all those kind of things. Skills and what those skills might mean. We've included those. Languages and what those languages might be relevant for. A resource like this is faster than having to flick through pages of a book. Not everybody has a copy of the book, and if we're at distance, it's difficult to be able to agree to rules and standardization. That's why we've concentrated on this side of things. Even some advanced rules, such as optional professions, such as the barbarian, the monk, the rogue, the civilian. We've included those as well. We want to be able to make the website accessible to everybody, and some people have reading difficulty or being able to actually see and hear and things like that. So what we did is we incorporated a special Iona text-to-speech engine that allows for difficult things to understand to be explained and read. So for example, in this one, the Middle-earth Roleplay Open Essence book, across the top we have the tabs for the various spell lists, 1 to 10, in a small little table here. So I've got Essence Ways, Unbarring, Physical Enhancement, Essence Hand, Spell Ways, Essence Perceptions, Illusions, and Spirit Mastery, and such as like that. A little table at the top that kind of explains that what the spell is, the area of effect, the duration, and the range. But we also wanted to be able to give the details as well. And as you can see, as I hover over each of these lines, is that they turn a kind of a deeper grey. And the reason for that is, if you click on them, the website will actually read to you the information about that particular spell. So if there's something you do not understand, so if we go to Essence Ways, and if I was going to go to Text Analysis 2, well, let's go for something, Detect Evil. The website will read it to you. I can do an example of that here now. So this is level 7 Detect Evil from the Essence Ways spell list for Middle-earth Roleplayer.
07. Detect Evil, P, RF5, as Detect Essence, except if a being or item is evil, or if an item was created by evil, or if an item was used by a very evil person for an extended period.
There we go. So it's read to you, and these are very short ones. Some of the ones in Rolemaster can be quite lengthy, So it's broken down, so they'll be read to you, and you'll be able to understand them and explain them, and they'll be explained to you. And later on, then we're going to have little kind of like audio clips as well to give you some idea about how to use that spell, what situations to have it in. And we've gone through that for the whole of the Middle-earth roleplay system. So if we're going to go for language lore, this is from the Bard spell list lore, language lore, which is level 3.
03, language lore, RF1, caster.
If I don't want to hear any more about it, I simply just have to click off the actual, the link again, and it will stop talking. So there's big lengthy ones, which are like a paragraph and a half. You got to sit and you got to listen all the way through. You don't. You simply just have to click off, and it'll stop talking to you. Ranger spells have been included as well. We got some poisons, some herbs, some disease and poisons on the various tabs. And you can see how all this is not requiring any load time. Now the reason for that is it's all coming from one page. So this is the Middle-earth roleplay on the MERP page. And it loads in all those resources in one go. So if I need to be able to like check on, if I click on Woozers here, and then I go down here, then click on the Bard list, and click on item lore, and I go back to Woozers, it remembers that I was still on the Woozers page. It knows that I was still looking at the Woozers page, so it brings that one straight back up to me. If I go back to Bard's lore again, you can see the item lore has been already tapped out, and that's because it's one center piece of code that's showing all that kind of stuff. Goods and services again. If I was looking for goods and services, then I got some goods and service tables here as well. So that's the Middle-earth roleplay kind of side of things, and that's the huge resource. We want to be able to branch that into other things as well. We're branching it out into Rolemaster, which we're going to stick to the classic version, but we're going to simplify it a bit, but make it as much diverse as we possibly can. Into Call of Cthulhu, Against the Dark Master, Dragonlance, Space Master, Random Encounters, Pathfinder, and D&D. And I'm going to give you a little bit of an insight into a bit of Space Master. Space Master is a little bit more futuristic, so we've sci-fi'd it up a little bit, and you can see here through the various graphics and layouts and things like that, you can see it's a little bit more sci-fi orientated. And with Rolemaster, which we are almost completing doing, this is a huge resource. It takes a little while to load in. There we go. You can see there we've added extra pages for people to view. So all the Rolemaster kind of stuff's there, but we've gone one step further with the Rolemaster. It is massive, absolutely massive. So you have all the races here. You have the Urban Man, the Rural Man, the High Man, the Woodman, the Hillman, Mariner, the Nomad, the Wood Elf, all the Elves, the Dwarf, the Halfling, the Gnome, and the Half-Orc. And you can see there the graphics change, the information is relevant for you as well. And if you need something reading to you, then you can go ahead and just click it.
Half-orcs are a hideous creation, born of man and orc. They are often confused with...
So information can be read to you, even if you have difficulty being able to actually like read it, or difficulty finding the information or understanding the information, it's read to you directly, which is fascinating. Professions is fantastic. There's about 120 professions in here, and you can see they're all beautifully recreated. And I'll show you the profession pages, because the profession pages for Rolemaster are more like players' handbooks in general. So you have your races, and you can see I'm just clicking here, and there's no loading time because the resource is loaded all in one go. It is there and relevant. That's the important thing. So if I go to the Animist, we've got the first one, it's Animist, and they're all in here. I just want to point some out. So the Paladin, the Priest, the Outrider, the Mage, the Mage Hunter, the Mana Molder, the Mentalist. There's about 120 professions in here, which is ridiculous. And we go to the Animist one. It'll load up an Animist resource, which is an Animist handbook. And immediately I can go and I can bookmark that, because it's a separate book. So I'm going to go ahead and bookmark that. I'm going to create a category called Rolemaster Classes. I'm going to call it Rolemaster Classes. I'm going to say yes. And I'm just going to bookmark it. So I don't need to navigate my way through the site anymore. I can simply just, if I go back to the home page, I'll show you how that works. I can go down to my bookmarks on the right hand side here, go to Rolemaster Classics. There we go, and I can go to the profession Animist. So I can bookmark it and it'll take me straight to that resource. There we go. See? And I can do that for my spells as well. So if there's a series of spells that I use a lot of, like in D&D or in Pathfinder, I can bookmark those. I can manage my bookmarks using the manage category and the manage bookmark option. I can go in, I can edit, and I can change them and delete them and move them around. Just leave that as there is. There we go. But I wanted to show you the animist kind of resources that we're building. So again, you want a full explanation?
Specializing in studies and powers concerning living things. For example, druids, priests.
There you go. And she'll talk on about what a animist is. It tells you what primary stats they are, what bonuses they get, what realm they belong to. Also the spell lists. So it brings up the spell lists that are associated with the actual animist. These are animist base lists. You can see Animal Mastery, Enrichment, Herb Mastery, Nature's Law, and the likes of. What training pack costs for that particular, for the Animist. And you can see these are quite nice. So if I'm looking for a crafter or creator, it's going to cost me 52 development points for an Animist to spend on creator. And there's the development point costs for the skill categories as well. And they're automatically in there. And I can find those quite quickly. So I can go back to my spell lists, I can click on a spell list and it'll take me to the spell list page. Let's see an example of that. And we've been working on the Druid one, so we'll go down the list and find out what they are. There we go. So if I wanted to go through the training packs, give it a couple of seconds for that to load in. There we go. These are various training packs, and I want to get some information about those training packs. Then I can do if I wanted to. I can click on the Adventurer one, training pack, and I'm thinking about taking that one. So I load up the Adventurer's training pack again. I can bookmark that if I want to, because it's a separate book, it's a separate entity. I can bookmark that. I can get to read out to me. I can see what the skill categories are. I get 2 ranks in athleticism. I get 2 ranks in gymnastics, 2 ranks in awareness, and the development point cost for whatever it is. Those tables need to be filled in. But you get the idea. You can bookmark those things. So if we go through the spell lists, and I wanted the Druid, so I'll go through the base lists. That's just all those load in. Load in a second. There we go. I loaded just clicking through them. In fact, what I'll do is I'll show the skills. So the skills are going to be explainable as well. So if somebody's got a spell, you've got a skill.
Acting, presence, intuition and empathy, static action, a bonus for simulating actions or reactions of others which is to be used.
There you go. So if you don't understand what a skill is, it'll be read out to you. It can be explained what did that skill do and what's the benefits of that skill. Herbs and diseases, of course. Shopping we've broken down into a database for things that you might need. So we've got food, survival, containers, tools, animals, transport, scriptium, which is like scribes, alchemy, religious, you name it, it's in there. So if I'm going to look for medicine, and I want to filter, and I want to look for, let's have a look. Say I need, under medicine, I might need, what might I need? I might need some bandages. As soon as I start typing bandages, you can see it automatically filters according to what I'm really looking for. So this is bandages, linen, 30 feet, weighs 1 pound, can be found in all locations, takes 1 day to manufacture, or make, or produce, and it'll cost you 10 copper pieces. The same for thief tools, armor, and weapons. So if I'm weapons and I'm looking for a sword, I've got a broadsword, I've got a long sword and a short sword. I can use that for instantly finding information I need. Now remember, because we were looking for bandages, remember the fact that we're looking for bandages, so when we change the page, it automatically sends us straight back to what we're looking for. It's when we want to cross-reference information. Instead of having to like search a database twice or flick through pages again and flick back, it's not. We're using bookmarking technology to be able to do this. So food, if I go to food and say I'm looking for some cheese, there we go. So I got a low quality cheese or average quality cheese. It's a dairy product. It's 1 pound. It's found in rural areas mostly. It takes 2 days of production to make some low quality one and 1 week's production to make a average quality one. It's 3 tin pieces and 8 tin pieces difference. If I want to be able to clear that, I can just simply clear it out and it goes back. If I want to change the size of these lists to make it easier, I can change the size of these lists as well. If I want to click through them page by page, I can do that also. Software and tools, what we're doing is we're adding in all the character sheets, so you can actually download a PDF copy of the character sheet and fill it in yourself for each class, which is nice. Let's go back to the base lists. They should be loaded now. There we go. These auto scroll through. So we have the Archmage base lists, we have the Alchemist base list, the Animist base list, the Arcanist, the Arms Master, the Astral Traveller, the Astrologer. These are all alphabetical listed, so we've got to go to Druid and show you some of the Druid lists. Where's the Druid? Here we are, Druid ones. And I know one that we have finished is the Animal Mastery. I can simply just click on it and it'll take me to the Animal Mastery spell list table. There you go. It's Animal Mastery. It's a Druid base list. It's broken down into levels. Level 1 to 10 if you want to be able to use it for low level adventures, or you want to be able to incorporate it into Middle-earth roleplay. Or into low-level D&D, then you can go ahead and do that because it's broken down. You got level 1 to 20, 11 to 20, sorry. If you want to be able to, there you go. For high-level Middle-earth roleplay, or for D&D because it ranks out at level 20, and then high-level stuff for Rolemaster, which is level 21 to 175. You just saying there's a table here, but if I click the tab that says Show Details, then of course it would show all the details. It doesn't. This one doesn't seem to do that, but I assure you some of them do. Again, I can go ahead and I can bookmark it, and I can create a new category, and I can call it Druid Lists. Druid Lists. There we go, and I go yes, and let me bookmark that one in Druid Lists. You can see it turns black, which means it's bookmarked, and then I can come back to it from the home page or through my bookmarks, and I can get straight to Druid Lists. There we go, and I can go straight to Druid Mastery, or I can go to my Rolemaster classes, and my Rolemaster classes is a Profession Animist, and they're starting to appear in my list here on the side. So, and that changes for every login as well. It's profile specific, which means that you can make it easier for you to be able to find stuff, to find resources and things like that, especially if you're planning leveling up or creating a new character or switching from one game to another. You can go ahead and you can do that kind of stuff. So imagine all those resources, and the resources are what's going into Rolemaster, plus additional resources on top as well. And when I mean additional resources, I'll explain. So if I go into Professions and go into the Priest, here we go. Some of the profession books are going to have extra content in them as well. So for example, the Priest.
A priest acts as counsel.
And he'll talk for 20 minutes explaining what a priest is. With the primary stats, the profession category bonuses is see the influences tab. A priest can be a priest of, in this instance, of the animals, of the ancestors, of music and dance, of the moon, of the sun. They get their spell lists. You can see there, depending on their influences. So, priest of the arts would get this particular spell list, or them spell lists. What training packs are relevant for a priest? What development points are going to cost them? And the influences. And you can see the influences here as well. So, a priest of the arts gets profession bonuses of plus 15 to all artistic groups, crafts and things like that, and they're dependent on the medallion that they wear. So the priest's book has a little bit more information in it, and so will all the other books as well. Things like the Tarot Mage has some extra information in there to help the player roleplay a Tarot Mage better, such as the meaning behind the cards. Maybe, let's say, if I go into the professions and show you the Tarot Mage there, so if I go to the Tarot Mage, so I've got the Trader and the Tarot Mage. If I click on the Tarot Mage and take it to the Tarot Mage book, and I can go ahead and I can bookmark that, of course. There's a page there reserved for the cards, but it shows me what spell list they've got as well. They've got Cup Magic, Mana Magic, Mage Arcane, Minor Arcane, pentacle magic, rod magic, and sword magic. At the bottom here it says the Tarot Mage might also develop open and closed essence spells as well. So all the resources are there. They're already programmed in. They are all automatically in there, even for Against the Dark Master, where development is starting to come along for that kind of thing as well. You can see there the pages are starting to be built for that kind of stuff. So that's where we're at the moment. I hope you guys have been enjoying it, and you're looking forward to our next update in probably 3 or 4 weeks' time. Stay safe, and if anybody wants to know any more information about it, or wants to know any more questions about it, how they get involved, or what would be included and what won't be included, drop me a message and I will try and get back to you as soon as I can. So stay safe, guys. Hope you enjoy what you're saying. There's a lot more content coming in this resource, and it'll be completely free for everybody to be able to use. Good luck, guys. Stay safe.